So on December 26th, we have the full moon in Cancer, which is going to be around 4:33 p.m. here in the Pacific Northwest of the United States. So I'm feeling into the energy. I was sitting here staring at the chart and I checked out the Sabian symbol for this marker, and I was like, everything in my body was like, I just didn't resonate with it at all, which is really strange because usually I get drawn to the Sabian symbols instinctually to go look at them because they hold significance. And with this one, with the 4 to 5 degree mark of Cancer, it was just a strong no within my body. And so I'm like, all right, what's the overall energy of this time period, or what do I want to bring through here in this video? And I feel that we're very much still in this 12-12 portal energy. We had the new moon in Sagittarius, which I did a reading on, which I guess the title that came to me was Drops of Jupiter. And I still feel like the drops of Jupiter is still the energy that we're under. So as I'm doing this reading of the chart for this full moon in Cancer, I still feel like it's like a subtext, if that makes sense. Like there's an overarching energy which this full moon in Cancer is operating within. And so that's the energy I was getting. So with that, let me pull up the chart and let me talk through the energies here with this full moon in Cancer. So here is the look at the chart for this full moon in Cancer. And so I really got drawn to the symbolism of the moon in Cancer. And it's like, well, duh, that's what I'm here reading the energy on. But it's different than the other full or new moon energy reads that I've done, where it's almost like I'm really focused on that symbol. And so this symbolism here, this time period, really is focused on that energy. And when I say that energy, there's a lot to the moon in Cancer. The moon is at home in Cancer. Cancer is literally our home. It's the foundation. If you look at it from the perspective of your natal chart, or just let's say the natural zodiac, where you have Aries on the ascendant all the way through Pisces in the 12th house. If you look at a natural horoscope wheel starting with Aries, Cancer is the foundation. And so that needs to be operating really well for the rest of the energetic expression of that wheel to really be operating smoothly. Or let's say, just talking about it from an individual perspective, if your emotional state, if your home, if your foundation is not solid, the experiences that you have in life are going to reflect that. They're going to show you where you have imbalances. And so that's why I feel I'm really getting drawn to that symbol more so than the aspects, more so than, the sun shining its light from Capricorn into Cancer. I really feel, obviously this is a general read for the collective, but any kind of imbalances, anything that has not been seen or realized, there's opportunity here for that to come to light. So, like I said in the beginning, there's this subtext energy that I feel is going on. And part of that, how you experience that, will depend on where you're at in your evolution, your consciousness level. But let's use a couple examples, like one from a deeply connected spiritual standpoint with this drops of Jupiter, or this 12-12 energetic portal that's open. You could be just getting upgrades, getting information, clearing stuff, working through stuff. And this full moon in Cancer, I feel it is more of an opening energy for you because of the clearing that's taken place. Maybe that you're not even aware of. That's more of an energetic clearing, that it's not something that, unless you're really dialed into the energetics, you would not even notice. But it's happened. It has taken place in some way. And so I see this full moon in Cancer as I'm opening back up emotionally. I'm expanding my energy, or my energy is reaching out further to be able to allow in the things that will now support where I'm at now. That's one example. The other example, from a think of living life more from a materialistic 3D 5 sense reality, like this full moon in Cancer could present opportunities for you to see some things that maybe need to be adjusted, or let's just say that you are trying to be shown these things. How you receive them depends. But what I'm getting is, especially, in the people that celebrate the holidays at the end of the year here, towards the end of December, families coming together, relationship dynamics, things that take place that maybe disrupt the emotional state or disrupt your home life, or bring to light things within you that you've allowed them to go on too long, is the phrase that I'm getting. And so the opportunity gets presented where you can see things clearly. And it's almost like the energy I'm getting is like, enough is enough. I'm not going to do that anymore. I'm not going to participate in that anymore. I really feel just completely off. And I'm not going to, it's almost like I'm going to stand up for myself. I'm not going to do things that maybe I've always done, or I feel obligated to do, or it's just the way that I've always done them. Now that I've had this experience, or these things have happened, or this event happened, or this conversation happened, or these feelings within me happened, moon in Cancer, home, what's going on inside of you, because of what has happened here, enough is enough, which I feel is, again, the subtext of this new moon in Sagittarius, which there's a higher energetic frequency that is among all of us right now, which is helping to bring things to light that need to get brought to light. And so I'm really feeling that strongly here. I keep getting pulled to just the symbolism of the moon in Cancer. And so then if I flip that around and I'm like, all right, well, let me look at the aspects here and what is the influences here to this full moon. And so it's tough for me. I don't know. I keep getting pulled to just that singular point, so that I feel that it's really important for me to talk through that moon in Cancer and the foundation and the emotional side of you, and really orienting yourself in the correct way to prepare for what's next. And when I say what's next, it could be, you name it. We're all at different points in our evolution. So I do feel, from a collective standpoint, I've been talking about foundations. I feel this is almost like the germination period, or like the final tweaks and adjustments that need to be made for whatever's happening in the beginning part of next year and going into 2024. And so this last moon cycle for the year can be profound. It can be enlightening. It could set it's I feel the purpose for anything that happens is to set the course or to set a firm foundation, Cancer, for you moving forward. So I'm going to fold into the aspects again here. The one that stands out to me the most is the supportive aspect to Saturn in Pisces. So Saturn in Pisces, and I'll need to pull in Neptune, which is also the latter degrees of Pisces. It's been hanging out there for years. Saturn coming into Pisces, along with Neptune being in Pisces, Saturn is the symbol for me, or what I feel from Saturn is I'm almost getting drawn to the Sabian symbol, which a little bit is more so like where Neptune can get into the ethers, it can get into fantasy, it can get into not being realistic. Saturn joining Neptune in Pisces is like the perfect ointment for that. Saturn is like, hold on. Saturn is like, yeah, we live in a body. We have this 3D reality that we're living in. And so there are certain things that it's like the symbolism of Saturn is saying, yeah, we're going to make things solid here. We're going to create a structure out of all of this Pisces energy. And so Pisces is a water sign, very, the same element as Cancer is. And so feeling things, the emotions, Saturn is like, yeah, we have to get stuff in order here. We need to form some kind of a structure. We need to make things solid. And so this supportive aspect here is helping to do that. So all the things that I talked about already, Saturn is kind of out there in a tight trine to this full moon in Cancer to say, yeah, I'm going to help here. I'm going to help. Whether you perceive it as help or not, that's what's going on here. This is the communication that you need. This is the structure that you need. This is the these circumstances that are changing are helping you to better align with yourself. And so that one pops out pretty strongly to me. And then the other supportive aspects here is we have the sextile to Jupiter. We have quintiles to the North Node in Eris. And then we have a quintile down here to Black Moon Lilith in Virgo. So if we look at these archetypes and them being in supportive aspects, the Jupiter and Taurus one I get is more underneath the covers, is the phrase that comes to me. Meaning that's not so much tangible. You're not going to really be able to identify that energy as part of this full moon in Cancer. It's more of, I know for those of you that have watched my videos, here it comes. It's more laying the foundation, but it's from an energetic standpoint. It's not overt or it's not in your face. So it's not even, it's almost like in the background. And then the quintile, there's quintile aspects here to Eris and the North Node in Aries. That's where I was getting the part I was talking about, where if there's some conflicts or there's some discussions or there's some heatedness or there's triggered emotions or there's just emotions that well up inside of you that say enough is enough. That's what I'm getting here with this quintile energy. And the quintile is creative transformation. That's the label that's put on this aspect. So because of this energy or whatever you experience here during this time frame, that's going to creatively transform you in some way. This is a supportive aspect. And with Eris there conjunct with the North Node, Eris, there's a lot of symbolism to Eris, but what I'm getting as part of that energy, like the moniker that's put on Eris, is strife and discord. That's certainly not all of it. It's much deeper than that. And if you looked at Eris in your natal chart, there would be a profound energetic signature there, which I'm not going to go into here. But just looking at this signature here, I feel that strife and discord. Like I feel if there needs to be anything highlighted from an emotional standpoint, it is going to come to the surface during this time. And it can be difficult, or it could not feel good, or it can challenge some of your belief systems. It can challenge some of the longstanding relationships you've been a part of. But ultimately, it's supporting your highest self. It's supporting you, which is that Jupiter and Taurus energy that I'm getting, which is underneath the covers. It's not really visible. The more visible energy is the Eris conjunct the North Node, supporting the emotions, supporting your home, supporting your foundation, this full moon in Cancer. Then there's a creative transformation aspect to Black Moon Lilith in the sign of Virgo. Virgo is ruled by Mercury, but Virgo's, what I'm getting here more so is the healing part of Virgo. So Virgo, like I think of the Pluto and Virgo generation, that generation, the entire generation came in as helpers and healers. And so a lot of the people as part of that generation, again, it depends on the evolution and where you're at and a lot of different factors, but a lot of those people had to go through a lot of challenging or difficult experiences to gain the wisdom so that they can help and heal themselves. Then they can take, once they are helped and healed within themselves and they've integrated those experiences, then they can go out and they can help and heal others. It's like their energy begins to expand and it starts to make ripples and waves across humanity, and it starts to help. Scale is not important. It could be helping and healing to one person. It could be helping and healing to the masses. It doesn't matter. It's just your energy coming out and being a helping and healing presence. So with this aspect here to this full moon in Cancer, helping and healing is what keeps popping in my head. So that could be yourself, that could be relationships, that could be you, that's actually expanding, like I said in the beginning, for somebody that's really connected and empathic energetically. This could be opening up your energy to be more of an influence as a helper and a healer, can be part of this energy here as well. And so I really feel this is profound, and it could be how you experience this is, it depends. All of it depends, right? I'm doing a collective reading, so everyone watching this is going to experience it differently. It could be overtly profound, which means you're just like, whoa, holy crap. Or it could be little tweaks, little adjustments, or little things that you feel. Like what I was getting to is like you could just wake up one day and you, up until that point, could have really struggled with something. It could have been an aspect of yourself or something that a relationship you were relating to or an environment that you were part of, and you viewed it a certain way for, it could have been even many, many years. And something shifts within you and you're like, oh, I see it way different now. And I feel much more grounded. I feel much more secure today than I was yesterday. And I can't really explain why, but I feel the shift and it feels real. It feels tangible. And I understand. And when you say like you understand, it's like a deep understanding of maybe beliefs you've had that need that shift just again quickly, or awarenesses in relationships, or awarenesses of situations that you've been putting yourself in, or things that you've allowed in your environment that no longer need to be there. That could be part of this energy here as well. I know in my program I'm showing a square to Neptune. It's similar to the reading I did with the new moon in Sagittarius, where that Saturn energy is like refinement and adding structure and really dialing in that wide open Neptune energy. That's where the tension can be felt, is because it's almost like what I'm getting is the beliefs that were not quite, I don't want to say accurate, they were not quite seeing the full picture. They were focused on a portion of the picture, not the full picture. So Saturn comes in and it's like, this is the whole picture, the whole part of it, right? Like if you think of it from, Neptune, Pisces can have the rose colored glasses on where they're like, everything's awesome. And I see all the good stuff that goes on here. Saturn comes in and it's like, yes, but one, that's only a reflection of yourself and your own energy. And two, there's more to the story. There's more here. Let me show you. And you get shown that and you're like, oh, wow, okay, well, that's disappointing, right? That's more the energy I'm getting with the square here to that full moon in Cancer. And I'm really not even getting that energy too strongly because it's not really a tight square here from a technical standpoint. It's more like an egoic disappointment, like being attached to something and thinking it's one thing, realizing it's not, and having that be the disappointing part of it. But the overarching energy is like, oh, I'm really glad that I see the full picture now. That's more the energy that I'm getting here. The other thing is this opposition here to Mercury, which is hanging out with Mars. And I really feel that energy being the same as what I already described with the North Node and Eris being in that creative transformation aspect. So I don't really feel like a typical opposition in astrology would be like opposing forces. And so what I'm getting here, what could be for some of you, is with Sagittarius being opposed to Cancer, it's like the truth being revealed, Sagittarius, which is in opposition to how you have been feeling, that type of an energy. Not too strong, though. I more so get pulled to that creative transformation aspect there, to the North Node and Eris in Aries. So as always, I appreciate you being here. Thank you so much for your time and your energy. Hopefully this was helpful, and you'll probably see another video from me next year at some point. Hopefully you have a really great holiday season. All the best to you, and I'll see you again in 2024. Take care.